Hello there, and welcome back to another NPC recreation video with me, Meoni, for Final Fantasy XIV. In this video series, we look at popular NPCs that sometimes you guys suggest in the comment sections and try to remake them in the character creation menus, and then with an accompanying glamour in the actual game. This week, we have to thank this poster, Sinny Makinen, who suggests since the Moen Breeder recreation last time, we should continue down memory lane. And that's no problem at all. Haurchefant is a very memorable character in almost everyone's hearts and minds, and he's pretty easy to recreate actually. This is in character creation after about an hour of twiddling, and I think it's actually pretty close to his likeness, if I do say so myself. I put the slider settings on screen here for how you can copy this and make one if you want to. The first number is always how many down, and the second number is always how many across the selection is. For example, when I say skin color 1-1, it's row 1, column 1, for example, and so on. I'm pretty satisfied overall with how my Haurchefant looks, so let's actually hop into the game and make a glamour. So to make today's glamour, we'll need to be a Dragoon specifically, as many of the pieces are locked to Dragoon level 50 and above. Firstly, the biggest hurdle for me is the chest, mainly due to not being able to get the exact colour scheme correct regardless of what you use or the dyes you try to use on many other options. What you see here then is the thick Aubergian. This is actually a drop from Hawk Manor Hard Mode, equipable by Dragoons level 50 and above. Out of all of the other items I could have gone for, I chose this one, as it was one of the few that had the yellow fabric accompanying the brassy gold plating on the arms and shoulders there, something the other options I tried didn't actually have. However, you may feel that this doesn't look good enough and you might prefer having silver plate to just get a slightly closer look and less glaring red, in which case you could try the Werewolf Aubergian of Maiming, which is an item level 70 wolf mark exchangeable piece of gear, and then you could dye that silver. Or you could go with the Serpent Private's Aubergian, which is actually a lot closer, but it's not enough for me without the brass. I really miss that, otherwise it would be pretty good. Generally, all of the Aubergians look similar in the game, but you will never get the right combination together, as it's simply not in the actual game besides for the NPC himself, which is fairly unfortunate, which is ultimately why I chose the thick Aubergian overall, and I think it looks pretty good in my opinion. Next up, I chose the iron vambraces and dyed these deep wood green. There are no better gloves in my opinion for this slot, so many of them are light metal colours, and the only section dyeable on all of these options we have available dyes the actual fabric and not the metal plates, since in the original armour, Haurchefant actually wears this sort of pitted black metal on the gloves there. The iron vambraces came with a similar colour scheme, not quite, but then I just needed to dye them green on the fabric there to make them look at least a little bit similar. And finally then, since the legs are invisible, let's move on to the feet. I chose the thick Solerettes. Again, these are from a dungeon drop, this time from Desmond Darkhold off of the boss Taulurd. These offer the brass-tipped ends to the boots and the brass metal plating on the foreleg, but all of the others sadly don't. I spent quite some time trying on all of the other lookalike pieces today, and honestly, they're all either missing sections of detail or they're just plain the wrong colour and not brass in the slightest. And really we want that brass look to go with the chest, so they had to be the option I went with today. Personally, whilst I'm overall pretty happy with the end result and I think it looks like a convincing Haurchefant, the chest does bug me out, something rotten. The red on the bottom of the shirt there really is a problem to me, but it's not one of those things you can easily overcome without shifting into a completely different problem on the looks department if you choose another option. Hopefully, however, you enjoyed this one. I certainly do every time we get to sit down and try to remake NPCs. Perhaps this video will get you excited to try this out as well. But either way, thank you kindly for watching it. Let me know what you might want to see next from this Remaking NPCs video series, and I will indeed see you all next time.